following is a 24 Hours podcast.
Hi, I'm Sam.
I'm Jordan. We're from Whitfield. And you're watching the 24 Hours podcast.
You hear the name Whitfield an awful lot these days. You guys are getting a lot of attention. Where did the emphasis come to form a band, and how did you guys come together?
Long process that we started back in Kamloops, I guess, but we're kind of from the four corners. You know, our lead singer Joby, he's from England, and we met in Kamloops and kind of went as far as we could and moved to Vancouver, being the next major city, and it's treated us well for the last few years. And we found Jordan here, and yeah, we've had a really good time in Vancouver, I think.
When you come from an area like Kamloops, where you can actually be a pretty big fish in a small pond, you come to a city the size of Vancouver, where there's an awful lot more of a live music scene. What do you do to immediately draw attention to yourself and sort of separate yourself from the pack?
What did you do?
You know, I don't think there's any immediate answers in this industry. I think you might get into it with the premonition that it's going to be all, you know, fame and glory, but it's a lot of playing to empty shows and you know, really building your fan base. And until you have a record that really does, you know, the purchaser of the record some sort of, you know, justice, I think we had to get that record out, the last one we did, Well Behaved and Working for You. And once we had that, it was sort of a selling point, and then, you know, the crowds just kind of started growing after that point, I think.
Well, let's talk about playing to an empty room, because every band has experienced that. What do you do to sort of keep yourself inspired and go, you know what, the next gig will be better? Because it can be pretty deflating if you're setting up for a gig and there's 10 people in the room.
Well, just know that you're better than what's there, and you just have to play like there's 100 people, play like there's 1,000 people. And
so give 110% every gig. That's
pretty much, you know, that cliche.
Sounds like the Vancouver Canucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you don't,
hopefully we're more successful.
Yeah, hopefully at least. Now let's talk about the nucleus of a band, because I mean you've brought in Jordan fairly recently. Do you sort of try out a guy to see if they fit, or do you go through the audition process? How does it work when you add a new member?
They tried out a lot of guys, actually.
Yeah, it's you know, I mean, there's a lot of musicians out there, to give Vancouver credit, but I think to find the right fit is entirely different. And the dynamics of a band are pretty mysterious even to us. I think we're just happy that we all get along, and when we're on tour, a lot of bands, you know, don't really, that's not what they really like to do. There's a lot of clashes involved. You're living in a van with each other for a long period of time, but it's just, that's when we have the most fun. So I guess in a way we got lucky, but yeah, like you say, it was a lot of trying people out and having guitarists quit, and
I was on a trial basis for about 3 months before they would actually.
We had no trust at that point, so yeah. But no, he came in.
What was the point where you felt like you were a part of this band?
When they sat me down and said, "Okay, you're in."
Yeah.
Actually, I felt more like I was in the band before that, for the first tour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Western Canada, we had a lot of good times. I think we knew he was going to be in the band, but it's a matter of, you sort of get a little bit jaded after a while, and having people come and go, and then you don't really want to open up that much. But after a while, we realized that we were just being dumb. We were going to have him leave if we didn't say he was in. So,
as a local rock band, how important is it to have, say, like a radio station like CFOX behind you guys?
I wouldn't know.
I don't know. We've gotten a little bit of support from the Fox, but not so much. Like, well, they don't actually play us, but
not recently. No, I think the college station was really good. Actually, Evolution Radio. They've been really good to a lot of the up and coming bands, I think. But I mean, yeah, I don't know. In the past, it's certainly helped a lot of Vancouver bands to have the Fox or any of those bigger stations behind them. But yeah, we've never been the Fox's darlings particularly.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
No, I don't know what that takes. I guess maybe have to buy them some beer or something.
And how do you feel that you grow musically? Like, is that important to you to always kind of set the bar a little higher each and every time out?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think the live show always needs to be improved on. You don't want to gyp the fans, and yeah, they're paying to see you, so you want to put on the best show. I think that's the same with recording too. The last record we've been working on now, having Jordan there, it's made a big difference too. So
yeah, I think it's a bit of a change from the last record. Definitely it's grown a little bit, I think.
How do you see the audience growing? Like, I mean, you do gig after gig. You were talking about playing empty rooms. I know that's not the case anymore. And I'm guessing through things like MySpace, you can really develop a rapport with your fans.
Yeah, MySpace was great. I think, you know, there's been a lot of decline in that, but, you know, there's always some internet medium. I think Facebook right now is pretty good for kind of rounding up the people that might come see your show. But I think, you know, the crowds are still there, and then not so much there certain nights, depending. But we've certainly put in our you know, our time, and it seems that now consistently we can, you know, have a good audience. And like you say, it's hard to play to an empty room, and it's a lot easier to give that extra little bit when, you know, there's a lot of people there, and you kind of feed from the crowd too, so it works both ways for sure. You
haven't had the experience of doing a music video yet. Is that in the future?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple in the works right now that we're working with. We've been going through the grant path, and that can lead to not getting a grant, depending when you apply, because a lot of the bigger Canadian artists tend to soak up a lot of that grant money. So it can be awfully hard at some points of the year to get any kind of funding as an independent band. So, but yeah, we're hoping to have one out in the next, you know, 4 or 5 months, I would think.
For people that haven't seen Whitfield yet, you've got a gig coming up at the Plaza. What can they expect from a Whitfield live show?
Kick-ass live show.
A lot of energy, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. We just love to have a lot of fun, and I think it comes through. You know, I think we definitely give our money's worth, that's for sure.
And you're probably the only band on record with a guy named Joby as your lead singer, right?
Yeah, I don't think anybody else in Vancouver especially has a singer named Joby.
Just don't mention Bon Jovi.
Yes.
Oh, you got a lot of that Bon Jovi?
yeah, it's been mentioned a few times. He's sensitive though. He's British.
Sensitive Brit.
And can we expect a new record out sometime soon?
Absolutely. The new record's going to be sometime in the summertime.
No clue what date yet. We're just an EP, but
yeah.
We're working on it. The songs are sounding really good. It's actually probably a lot more up-tempo than our last album, but I think we're just kind of expanding and going in places that we haven't gone before. So I think we're really excited to hear what it's going to all come together like.
You think he's going to stick around?
Oh, he better.
You going to keep him?
Oh, yeah, at this point.
I'm quitting next week. I kid. I kid because I love.
Nice meeting you. Thanks a lot, guys, and good luck with Whitfield.
Thank you very much.
Vancouver.24hours.ca